Yeah, so we like the drink sector and the food sector quite a lot. We think it's the one area, one of a few areas in the world where consumers knowingly trade up. So you're more than happy to pay a higher price for a perceived better product. The best example here in Australia is A2 Milk. It's now a multi-billion-dollar company from essentially a concept 5 years ago. And most of us still actually don't understand why we're buying the milk, but our wives are, and on it goes. And so that's what food companies can do, what drink companies can do. From our point of view, we love the drink sector. Staggeringly, we could tell you that there is 28 billion litres of spirits consumed in a year. So this is just the spirits sector now. I'm not talking about beer or wine. And out of that 28 billion litres, only 22% of it is actually produced by the recognised spirits companies on the planet. So that's your Diageos, your Pernots, your Bacardis, your Camparis, etc. Only just less than 1/5, or sorry, 1/5 is produced by those recognised companies. And so the other 80% is a mixture of half baijiu, which is essentially the Chinese sorghum spirit that the Chinese drink at mealtime, and the other half is essentially moonshine or local products. And so if you want an emerging market thesis, or if you're looking for a great runway for growth, then spirits is the obvious place to look. Because all you have to do is to convert a small portion of those baijiu drinkers to cognac or to whiskey. And I think what's really interesting here, if you look at the wine companies here in Australia, as far as we can tell, Treasury Wine is the only company in the world that's attempting to do this. So it's going up to China and educating the Chinese about converting them to Australian wines. They control just 2% of imported wine into China and less than 1% of the wine market. And wine is less than 20% of the entire alcohol market. So the opportunity here is huge. And the growth runway is very, very long. And something that we think is under-recognised in Treasury Wine and probably under-recognised in most of the alcohol companies in the world today. Treasury Wine is a holding in the fund. It is our only Australian holding in the fund. And the reason why is because we cannot find any other wine producer in the world that's trying to do this at the moment. Even Constellation Brands in the US doesn't have an active China policy. And as we all know, the wine industry is fragmented. The whole investment thesis here is you need to educate the Chinese to shift to wine. But considering their dominant portion of the alcohol market and obviously the emerging wealth in China, we think there's a reasonably good chance of that happening. And Australia is uniquely positioned to sell into this market. And so we think it's a really good opportunity.